I read from 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 2 through 16. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah, "Leave here, turn eastward, and hide in the Kerith ravine east of the Jordan. You will drink from the brook, and I have directed the ravens to supply you with food there." So he did what the word of the Lord had told him. He went to the Kerith ravine east of the Jordan and stayed there. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the brook. Sometime later, the brook dried up because there had been no rain in the land. Then the word of the Lord came to him, "Go at once to Zarephath in the region of Sidon and stay there. I have directed a widow there to supply you with food." So he went to Zarephath. When he came to the town gate, a widow was there gathering sticks. He called to her and asked, "Would you bring me a little water in a jar so I may have a drink?" As she was going to get it, he called, and bring me, please, a piece of bread." "As surely as the Lord your God lives," she replied, "I do not have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. I am gathering a few sticks to take home to make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die." Elijah said to her, "Don't be afraid. Go home and do as you have said. But first, make a small loaf of bread for me, for what you have, and bring it to me. And then make some for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says: the jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day of the Lord sends rain to the land." She went away and did as Elijah had told her. So when there was food every day for Elijah and for the woman and for her family. For the jar of flour was not used up, and the jug of oil did not run dry, in keeping with the word of the Lord spoken by Elijah. As 3 minutes passed by in this video, I hope you stayed for this video of what I'm going to tell you as a testimony to one in the past and one that has happened recently. So, in the past, I was doing something for my parents, but also mainly for myself. We had a exterior basement door that was wooden, and it was starting to get very rotten and was not going very well over the years, so it began to basically deteriorate. And I was running low on money, like under maybe $150 or something like that, maybe $99 at the time, last year, whenever I was doing this project. And I brought my dad with me and my mother, and I remember telling my dad, because these exterior doors were $300 something, just the door, without the door frame. And I told him, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And eventually, I basically, I can't remember if I prayed about it or not, but I went home and I went to bed and slept. And then the next morning, a coworker of mine calls me and asks me something about a soap dispensary, but the way he explained it made no sense to me, and I just said, "No, I'm going to work and I'm going to see what you're talking about." And I got in my car and I drove over there, and to basically just say it, I got whatever that needed to be done at work. And I look at the back property of another property that had a dumpster just sitting there, and on it was a door. And I look up to it, and I'm thinking, is this the right size? So I rushed home quickly to get my measuring tape, and lo and behold, it was the right size for the door. So I went home and got my wagon, and I walked some distance to this apartment because it wouldn't fit in my car. So I went over there, got the door to make sure that no one took it, and good thing that the door was still there. And I got the door, and within that same day, with my dad's helping me, we cut the door to the right size because it was the top part that was not, it was a little too long, but we cut it to the right size. Then later, and then basically with under $100, the hardware for the door was all bought. And the Lord provided me he provided my every need without money. So the message that I'm going to tell you with the next testimony that I'm going to tell you is that God provides for those without money. He definitely provided me without money for an exterior door. This wasn't just for my parents, but this was particularly for me because I wanted to sleep in the basement as my new bedroom. And it ended up turning out and working out the way it did. But then, many years passed by, and my parents, their car died, and they called me to basically pick them up and bring jumper cables to make sure that just to basically make sure that the car was, because they thought the car died because the battery was dead. And basically, longer story short, we eventually find out that the starter went bad, which we were thinking that was really strange because we just got it 2 years ago. But the thing is that I believe that my family has been using it more than what they've realized, and usually most starters last maybe 80,000 to definitely 100,000 miles. So definitely that's probably what happened. But anyways, we all go home, and the only thing my dad had to pay for towing was $100, which I kind of figured that's what it would have been. My dad was worrying that it could have been more because it was at night, but it was $100, and that was good. But today, during the day, me and my dad, we went to Advanced Auto, and my dad was kind of wondering if God would basically give it to him for free. Like basically the workers there would give us a starter for free because certain things under a number would help us with getting a warranty or something like that, or to pay less money or whatever it could have been. So we went to Advanced Auto and we got the starter off the little red Honda Accord, the Honda Civic, and I believe we took it there. And longer story short, Jesus provided us a free starter. And guess what? The starter started the car. And even though my dad spent $100 on towing the car, for the car itself, it was free of charge that God provided for my mom and my dad a new starter. Free of charge. though my dad thanked the worker at Advance Auto for helping us out, I give praise to the Lord because this proves that Jesus provides without money. If he could provide Elijah bread and meat in the dry deserts in the ravine, and also water in the brook in that area, then what more can he provide for you without money? Now, yes, God can provide you money, but I am here to tell you, if you've listened to this message almost 11 minutes in, Jesus can provide you without money. And I am a living testimony to tell you that. He provided us, or particularly me, a new basement exterior door, free of charge. And he provided my mom, my dad, a new starter for the Honda, free of charge. Through these situations, the Lord tests us, whether it be out of judgment or just literally testing us. He will test us if we will be faithful. And we must remain faithful if he is to provide for us. Sometimes we don't deserve to be, sometimes we don't deserve to, get things from God free of charge. But because he loves us enough, he will provide for us. He provides us rain. He provides us the sunlight. He provides us the stars. He provides us the moon. He provides us the cool air at night. I mean, this is a beautiful night. And it's Halloween night, which is basically it's November at this point. But the more important thing that I'm getting at, you guys, is Jesus provides without money. You may have a flat tire and you're worried that that you might have to spend money, but then all of a sudden a mechanic who's off the clock pulls up to your broken down car and find out, oh, your tire's blown out, and then helps you free of charge to put the spare tire on, which most SUVs don't have those weird donuts that smaller cars do, but actually the spare tire is actually a tire. But moreover to what I'm talking about, you guys, is Jesus provides without money. And if he did it for Elijah, he can for you. Will you put your trust and faith in Jesus so that he may provide for you free of charge? Or will you provide yourself by your own hand to find out that you can't do it on your own? You can't provide for yourself on your own. Because I will tell you guys, without theatrics or anything like that, Jesus can provide without money. And that is a fact. There are things in my past that I had to, that I had to earn with money and all that stuff. But I flat out am telling you guys, there are times where I literally don't deserve it, and the Lord has provided me, even through people. The Lord actually used a worker. I will not name this person's name, but the Lord used a worker to give me $10 because for the past month and a half, I've been having money issues, and I currently still am. And I'm basically playing catch up. And though it is hard for me to try to maintain my money, try to save, but also I need to eat and all that stuff, the Lord still provides for me. So, will the Lord provide for you, or will he not provide for you because you think by your own hand you can provide for yourself? Which one will it be? And I would highly suggest to you to pray to God, even if it's once, to say, Lord, provide my every need. Please help me. Please help me, Jesus. Provide for me. Because I could tell you, he will provide for you. May Jesus bless you.